righty, showtime in the big city. I hope wherever you are right now, you're nice and warm and comfortable. Boy, I tell you what a winter it has been.
It's crazy.
Crazy winter. And what are we going to do? We're going to fly out to the Midwest, Manhattan, Kansas, where the winds are winds.
Probably not as cold as it is here, is it? Or is it? Let me check.
About the same. About the same.
I'll check.
About the same.
It'll be like 40 out there tomorrow when we get there.
Pretty nice. Little sun.
It's warming up here.
Heat wave.
Yeah, getting warmer. Everything should be taken care of by June. This is our Kansas State preview. And yes, we will look back at Arizona State. 3 guys before the game, brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card and instantly begin saving on your food and fuel. Go to Gomart.com for details or download the Gomart app wherever it is that you get your apps. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Brad will break down the Arizona State game and also tell us what the key integers are for Saturday's date in Manhattan. Time to go over to the Weather Center right now. Here's Hoppy. Hoppy, what's the weather in Manhattan, Kansas?
Well, Tony, right now it's 22 degrees. We have mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be a high today of about 26. Get a little sunshine later in the afternoon. Now, tomorrow, when you and Brad and the Mountaineers arrive, start out cold tomorrow morning with a temperature of 13 degrees, warming up to 40 with sunshine tomorrow. So not bad at all, considering it's winter in Kansas. I think you guys are going to be fine. Safe travels.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kansas State's one of the good trips to go to because the airport is 13 steps from the arena.
Nice.
You're gone. Waco, you're out. Manhattan, you're out. Oak State, gone. See you later. Easy to get out.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, trust me.
Travel is, I've trusted you on the first 2 trips, and you had us delayed on both, so I don't trust you on this one.
We have had a few travel issues.
Is that fair, Hop?
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Be cautiously optimistic. I hate that phrase, but cautiously optimistic.
All right. So we're all well?
No, the doctor's not.
Yeah, I know. My boy's down. By the way, that's a hell of a nice shot. Is that a new shot? Did they move the camera? That shot's different.
I don't think so.
Really? I just think it looks like perfectly
I think you're in it for the first time. That's my deal. No, I think that's the same shot as Jake.
Not Jake. I mean, Jake might be working some buttons back there we don't know about. Anyway, so since the last time we got together, West Virginia lost to the Wildcats of Arizona State. That you probably know if you're listening to this show. Exactly why did it happen, and can West Virginia do the rebound now? Have not lost 2 games in a row this season, right? You go all the way back, and you had the Pitt game, bounced back, got a W, down in the Bahamas, lost to Louisville, came back, lined up, beat Arizona, right? Mm-hmm. Lost to the Houstons, turned around, came right back, beat the Iowa States.
Arizona first the second time, then you beat Colorado.
Yeah, you're right. Skip that one. And then, okay, let's keep doing this thing. Keep flipping it.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, obvious?
Obvious observations.
Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for obvious observations brought to us by, obviously, no one.
There's not much margin in this league for an off night, and you had one of those where you just played Iowa State and Houston. Those are just tough hills to climb. And then although you're home and although Arizona State had been on the road, it seemed like they felt like maybe their backs were against the wall. They'd lost 4 in a row, and they came in. And they got guys. We saw that. They got guys, especially guys underneath. And Arizona shot well, especially down in the paint, and Brad will have numbers on that. And West Virginia did not. I mean, you were 25 of 29 from three-point range, and Javon was 0 of 8 from three-point range. He shot 31% for the game. You were off. And I think that's a game, too, where you miss Tucker DeVries, Brad, every game. But, boy, you could have used him there because I don't think there would have been many nights where Javon and Tucker would have both been off that much. And if Tucker was there and scored 12, you probably win the game. I mean, it was a winnable game. That pressure at the end almost turned the game around. But just you're going to have those nights. And Bashir Jihad, am I saying that right? Jihad.
Now it's spelled jihad, but they say pronunciation is
jihad. Don't want to say
jihad.
jihad. Said, we were the bigger and more physical team. We went out there and we imposed our will. And we talk about that a lot. Which team is able to impose their will? And Brad, in that game, especially with the inside shots, Arizona State was able to impose their will.
Well done. Very obvious. You're right on course. No. But you're exactly right. And for him to come out and say that afterward, he's exactly right. And West Virginia normally runs that. Like West Virginia could have said that about Iowa State last week after that game. They imposed their will. They were more physical. And you're right. Obviously, you are right that that's what wins in this league. The team that can do that through the course of an entire game.
Give them credit, Arizona State. They made some plays down the stretch. It got close a couple of times. West Virginia was making its run, and they had an answer each time. But I tell you what, guys, though, that's a disappointing loss, right? You change your expectations when you pull the win off against Iowa State. That was a game that you thought you could have had, even at halftime. Hop, I looked at Tony at halftime and said, "This is fine. This is going to be a West Virginia win here." 19-0 points off turnover advantage at halftime. 19-0, and ended up couldn't close that game out. That was a tough one. I really thought that would get turned around in the second half, that at some point West Virginia would come out, Javon would hit a couple threes, Amani would hit a three, and then you'd be off and running in that game, and you just couldn't get over the hump. And you said it with a thin margin of error. If Javon's going to have a game where he doesn't make a three-pointer, this team's going to be in trouble. It can't go 4 of 29, a season-low three-point shooting. It's got to make some shots, and it just couldn't the other night. And listen, we know Darren's not going to make excuses, but it was clear there was some sort of bug running through that team, and I think that ultimately affected the guys, that there just wasn't that extra gear where you could dig down and go in and make that run in the second half. Just didn't have it in the tank.
And Tony, listening to you, how many times, especially in the second half when you were calling the action, did you, in the play-by-play, say the shot was short or off the front of the rim? Just
side of the rim, yeah.
Yeah, those kinds of things.
Just one of those nights, yeah.
And I mean, he gave up 14 offensive rebounds. They were able to dominate rebounding, and their inside game. You just didn't. They did a good job inside.
No, man, they're long. They're talented. Everyone we talked to going into that game last couple of weeks say, hey, what about Arizona State guys that have played them and things like that? And they go like, they're really talented, but they hadn't put it all together. They had their proverbial backs up against the proverbial wall. That's an obvious observation. And you didn't know after sitting here since Saturday when they got in from the Cincinnati game on Sunday, would they be like, ugh, or would they be like, let's go? I think a similar situation is coming up on Saturday night. K-State has been kicked around and kicked around and kicked around. You got to be careful here because they came close last night against the Baylor Bears on the road. You got to be careful. I don't think they're dead yet. They're still breathing. So you're not going to go in there and just say, hey, what's up? You guys have lost 6 in a row, and what is it, 9 out of their last 10?
9 of 10.
9 out of 10.
14, the last 14 road games.
Yeah.
Last 14 road games.
Yeah.
Now they're home, but I mean.
Yeah, I know. But just like, you got to be careful here, too.
I thought Arizona State game was an example of sometimes a team can play its way into some confidence. Because I thought that was an Arizona State team in the first half that was ready to be put down. If you had gone on a run and got up 5 or 6, I think that thing was over. They were really struggling offensively. West Virginia was active. I mentioned that points off turnovers numbers. West Virginia was getting any shot it wanted in the first half. They just weren't falling. I think that's where that game changed at halftime. I think Arizona State kind of woke up at halftime and said, well, hey, listen, okay, we're here. We're up 1. We might as well win the thing. And then they did a better job in the second half of attacking West Virginia inside, and those offensive rebounds became an issue. But I thought that team got more confident starting in the second half when it came out and made some shots and extended that lead. I thought that's maybe where the game was decided. Had West Virginia come out, hit a couple, and taken the lead, I contend Arizona State would have been done at that point. Instead, it flipped the other way.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Interesting that West Virginia, and correct me if I'm wrong, for the first time this season, put on that full court press. Was it maybe not the first time?
Yeah, they haven't done a lot of it. And you could tell Arizona State was not ready to see it.
Was not ready for that. And that almost got West Virginia back in that game. But again, props to Arizona State. They eventually figured out, managed it, scored points when they needed to, and won the game. West Virginia just couldn't hit shots at the end.
You couldn't do that press too often just because of the short bench with all of West Virginia's injuries. But man, That was effective. You got some length, right? That's what jumped out to me. You got Sincere and Toby trapping on you there. That's some length. That might be something you see used here a little bit more, because I thought it was really effective there for a time.
Yeah. Little guy, the Mason, the point guard there.
Yeah, he wanted no part of that.
He got caught in that corner a couple times.
Yeah. Oh.
He had that kind of look like when you forgot to study for your final exam.
And, one thing I do like about officiating typically is if you get yourself in a jam, they will not bail you out. It's like they should have a signal for you're on your own. You got the ball in the corner. There's two guys on you. You're on your own. I'm not helping you here.
Yeah. Yeah. John Gaffney, who refereed the West Virginia-Arizona State game, very next night worked the TCU game. Think about that. So he was here literally in Morgantown. At the earliest he got out of there was 11:45 by the time he walked out of the Coliseum.
Probably later, but yeah.
Up to Pittsburgh, Dallas, fly to Dallas, Pitt to Dallas. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying I was tired yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a late night.
I was
and you
tired.
Didn't travel.
And I didn't, as my wife pointed out, you didn't run. I said, yeah, you're right. I know. It's just a grind, man.
That's a late tip, man. That 9 o'clock tip, that's a late tip. And props to the fans who did make it there. You said you get me tickets. I didn't show. I was not there. But I know it wasn't a big crowd, but props to the fans who did on a cold night, 9 o'clock tip.
You could have been the one person applauding that would have gotten this team right over that edge.
Might have been you. I think it was more about those shooting the basketball. But
it just might have been you.
I think so.
Anyway. All right. Coming up, we'll do some spreads on stats. Look ahead to the one and only regular season matchup against the Wildcats of Kansas State. That's coming up. Hey, guess what?
What?
One of our sponsors, Comax.
Yeah.
I've been talking about the business phone system.
Yes, you have.
New item.
Really? What is it?
New item.
What do you mean new item?
We're going to promote a new item.
What do you got?
It's saving lives. That's what we're going to do. It's going to save lives.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm intrigued.
I mean, we all need to have water, right? We all need to have water in our system. I mean, you got big sippy cup there. Hoppy's got a big sippy. He got water in there right now. If your business is looking for a refreshing upgrade for your office, Comax Business Systems now has the perfect solution. Their new water cooler systems provide crisp, clean water at the push of a button.
They're doing water now?
Providing hydration and wellness in your workplace. Say goodbye to heavy bottles. Those bottles used to come in those 5-galloners. Remember, Hoppy, you'd have to used to go back in the Greer building, pick up the thing, put it on your shoulder, and lug that
That's when you
thing.
got turned upside down and
Turn
stuff.
it upside down. No more.
Difficult delivery system.
Perfect for any business size. The coolers are eco-friendly and easy to maintain. You can discover more by going to comaxwv.com. You can call them. 304-744-7440, 304-744-7440. Get yourself a great working water system. Refresh your workplace with Comax. Remember, Ernie used to bring the water.
Yeah.
Ernie Fortuna used to be our water guy.
That's it.
Great guy.
Yeah. Also, that cuts down on your plastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just drink it. I mean, we're I don't know if you know this, but 3 guys before the game, strong advocate of hydration.
Big hydration people.
We're probably
all of us.
Been working on that last year.
You have been. You pound it during the day. How much?
I try and get between 75 and 110.
Do you feel it makes a difference?
Yeah, it does make a difference.
There's no question.
Makes a big difference.
You didn't hesitate.
Didn't hesitate. No, because I think I was chronically dehydrated for decades.
Wow. So you're
I think it makes a big difference. I really do.
It does make a difference until.
Not that I'm a doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not that you've been to medical school.
You know what I'm going to say. I know where you're going. Go ahead, say it.
Oh.
As you get older,
you
better shut it. You better shut it down about 7 p.m.
There's no doubt. Finding the sweet spot of ounces versus not getting up in the middle of the night's been a work in progress.
You know what? I tell you how we're going to figure it out. Let's break down the numbers.
So I check the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers.
Ounces versus bathroom hits.
Let's jump into the.
What do the analytics say as to what time you should stop drinking?
Ounces per visit.
Ounces per visit, yeah.
Effective P rate.
EPR.
Oh, this took a turn.
It did.
Spreads on Stats brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers, complete service public accounting and consultation, serving clients throughout our state, surrounding states. 40th year anniversary. You can outsource your accounting. Just basically, like I use this analogy, man, like we're the sheep, they're the shepherd. They're just like, here, follow me. I'll tell you how to do this so you don't get yourself hurt. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So Mike and the folks at Conley, all they are, they're just shepherds. They're just walking us through the fields, right? Just walking us through the fields. All right. How you doing this? You want to do Arizona State?
Yeah, we'll break down Arizona
Not
State.
a whole lot on Arizona. I think we figured that one out already.
I know, but some of these numbers are just staggering.
Like what? What hit you?
You only had 6 turnovers in the game.
You're right. It was a wacky statistical
Like most
game.
of these
6.
numbers you look at and say, okay, that would have been a win. Again, you ended up plus 23 points off turnovers. That was that remarkable 19-0 run in the first half. But Hop, where it got you, you only scored 23 points in the first half.
Right.
19 of them came off their turnovers. But that's also why I thought you were in good shape, because I thought even if that levels out, you're going to start making some shots.
Wasn't it like 19 and 9 turnovers to 19 points? Is that what it was?
For them?
For West Virginia. West Virginia, forced 9 turnovers and got 19 points off 9 turnovers.
Yeah,
Is that right?
so you had, for the game, you had 13 live ball turnovers, and you averaged 1.85 points per possession.
Jeez.
So almost a basket on every turnover. That usually gets you the win. If you did that for a season, that was in the 94th percentile.
Jeez.
Held Arizona State to 35% shooting in the first half. You usually think that comes through with a win. What flipped, they got up to 61% field goal percentage in the second half.
Right.
You made as many free throws as they attempted.
You never lose then.
Never.
That shows you just how much West Virginia struggled from the field, that you had that big of an advantage in points off turnovers and an advantage at the free throw line, and there just wasn't any of those baskets in between. You mentioned that Arizona State's ability to get to the rim. How about these numbers? 50% of Arizona State's shots were layups or dunks, and 55% of Arizona State's points came in the paint. That was up 11% from their previous 5 games. That was the second highest points in the paint percentage for Arizona State, and their best was just a 0.5% better. So I thought that was as good of a job of an opponent as getting inside on West Virginia. I thought Arizona did it in the second meeting at the Coliseum and got the win, and I thought that Arizona State team was able to do it as well.
Brad, how did they do it? Was that a defensive breakdown? Was that just guys making plays, guys getting in position, offensive rebounds? What was it?
There was both. West Virginia didn't do a great job of its defensive rotations. When the Sun Devils went to the basket and West Virginia's bigs went over to help to provide either shot blocking or to just get in the way, Arizona State did a nice job dropping it off, and West Virginia seemed to be a step slow on its defensive rotations on the back end. Arizona State was great on the offensive glass as well. That was the Sun Devils' best offensive rebounding performance of the season. And here's the number that really jumps out. Arizona State rebounded 42% of its missed shots.
Wow.
That was it. And put that along with West Virginia and a season-low 3-pointers made adds up to the loss in which we saw.
Yeah.
All right. I got more, but we can move on.
Kind of took care of that.
We've solved it.
Go ahead, Hoppy.
Well, if you're going to Kansas State, I have obvious observations.
Go ahead.
So I talked to Wyatt Thompson today.
Did you call Wyatt?
I called Wyatt.
He had a late night. He was in Waco last night.
And he said, and Wyatt Thompson's been the venerable play-by-play voice of the Cats, as I like to call them there. And he said that this is one of those teams that is just always has something going wrong. That they're just inconsistent. That one night they're not shooting well. One night the defense isn't there. One night the rebounding's not there. One night they're not getting back on defense. He says it's always something.
Good. I hope they forget to show up for the game Saturday.
Continue.
And he said that there is a level of frustration now because they can't quite figure it out. And he said this team was, quote unquote, wildly inconsistent. Against Baylor, Brad, I think they were up 12.
They were.
In the second half.
Yep.
And lost the game. So it's just, and they go through these spells where they're not scoring. And as he was telling me this, and Brad, you'll get into the numbers on this, I was thinking we've seen teams like that, where you'll go the whole season, and it's always something. But you never quite figure it out. And maybe it's just you don't have the talent, or maybe it's just not a good fit with the players, or whatever reason. But it just never quite comes together. So with what Wyatt told me, this sounds like one of those teams where maybe, you're almost to February, it may not come together this year.
Really good points. And I think perhaps, as you said, like last year's West Virginia team only had 9 wins. Now, on paper, had some talent. So what do? Well, they knocked off Kansas last year on a one-off. That's what you have to be careful about.
Right.
That's exactly what you have to be fearful of.
It's very similar to Arizona State. Arizona State came in here scuffling, injured, on the road for a second trip, and you thought, okay, you got a good matchup here. But if you don't play and you have an off night, there's enough talent there. And I think that's what this Kansas State team is. Yes, it's lost 9 of 10. Yes, it's lost 6 Big 12 games in a row. But if you look, 4 of those are to, I'm going to go Ken Palm rankings here. Number 3, Houston. Number 11, Texas Tech. Number 7, Kansas. And number 28, Baylor. Yeah. So, yeah, Tony, I'm with you. I don't think this Kansas State team loses out the rest of the season, which means they're going to step up and snap up and get somebody. And you just hope it's not you. There's a lot of talent on that team, and there's some big talent, some physically big talent with Gasson and Coleman Hawkins that concern me from a West Virginia perspective, given what we just said about Arizona State. So this is one of those what West Virginia has shown after losses, to your point, where you haven't lost back-to-back, they have shown they've come out with renewed intensity. And so hopefully whatever illness was running through the team has cycled through, and you get guys back and you get a really good effort. Because I think all things being equal, you'll get a West Virginia team that'll come out and compete really hard as it's done really in every game this year.
I agree. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how many shots go down and things like that. But I do think this. When it's over, I don't think we're going to say West Virginia seemed a step slow. West Virginia seemed fatigued. I don't think we will say that after this game. They're going to go and they're going to ball out. Now, if it's going to be good enough or not remains to be seen, but I do think you're going to get that connected effort that they've used so far this season to get their W's.
Here's a couple things to watch that matchup-wise, again, you're on the road, which always makes it difficult, but some things matchup-wise that you think should help West Virginia. Kansas State's a bottom 60 team nationally in opponent three-point field goal percentage. West Virginia likes to shoot the three. It takes on nearly 50% of its shots from three. That three-point variance can be good or bad, as we saw the other night. If you're not making them, you're in some trouble. But against a team that hasn't defended the three well, this should be an opportunity to get some shots. Hopefully they fall tonight, but it's a bottom 60 team in opponent field goal percentage from three. Kansas State turns it over quite a bit. They're 11th in Big 12 play in offensive turnover rate or percentage versus a West Virginia defense that's 5th in Big 12 play. So, again, it didn't get you the win the other night, but that's what West Virginia's defense is predicated on, getting steals. What did it have? 14 against Iowa State and 11 the other night against Arizona State, which is pretty remarkable. Yeah. That's a ton of steals. So you would hope, again, this is a game where you can get some turnovers, you can get out and run a little bit and try and get some easy baskets so you're not so reliant on half-court offense. Kansas State's 14th in Big 12 play in three-point field goal percentage. So it's three-point shooting near the bottom in the Big 12. It gets a West Virginia defense that's number 2 in opponent three-point field goal percentage. So you feel pretty good there. I think the question offensively for K-State, defensively for West Virginia is, can you shut off that lane? Can you keep Gasson and Hawkins away from the basket, keep them off the offensive glass? They're not a great offensive rebounding team, but that's some serious size inside, guys. That's 6'10", 6'9", that concern me a little bit inside.
Baylor doesn't have its typical great size, but K-State outscored Baylor in the paint on Wednesday 30-16.
Ooh.
So, yeah, Hawkins and Gasson. Gasson's always been a problem for us.
I think he's really good.
I'll go back and look at, he's a couple of times now in a row, he's been problematic.
Yes.
Out of the Netherlands, Hop.
They had a guy from Australia who left in December that they were counting on.
They got
Not a punter.
That was the reason he left. Kept going to basketball practice, kept kicking it up in the stands. So, no, get out.
K-State gives up its own offensive rebounds to its opponents. Can West Virginia get in there? And that's not typically something that's a strength for West Virginia, but we've seen Toby before. We've seen Andre be able to get in there. Can you steal a few offensive rebounds and get some points? So this is just one of those, go out and play like you play, and you feel pretty good about it, but certainly no easy task on the road against a team that does have quite a bit of talent.
All right. What are you feeling? You agreeing with me? Think we bounce back in the sense that
I do.
I think we'll be there. I mean, we're going to compete. Not going to be a step slow. Going to compete. Yeah.
It's just, to state the obvious, there's just no off nights in this league.
I've heard that.
There just aren't.
No, there isn't. I mean, back in the old days,
there'd be some teams you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, there were a few teams back in the Big East days where you knew, there's probably an 8 out of 10 chance that you're going to beat them. There just truly aren't any of those.
And you're not so deep or talented
Correct.
that you can say, okay, it was an average performance, maybe even below average, but you came away with the win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw that against Arizona State. That was a below average performance, and you got beat. You can't win like that against anybody in this league, I don't think.
This is going to have to be, you've got to bounce back from a shooting perspective. Javon's got to have a good game. Amani's got to find a way to get a couple threes. JP's got to hit a couple threes, because I do think Kansas State will look to go inside here. They're very good at cutting to the basket offensively. I think if they've looked at the tape, they're going to see you can have some success, Iowa State, Arizona State, in getting inside on West Virginia. So it's got to be that old 3 is worth more than 2. You've got to get up in that 8 to 10 3-pointers made, because you're taking so many of your shots or threes. You've got to get in that range to make some. And then if you're giving up some buckets in the paint, okay, so be it. Turnovers, lead to points, then make some threes, and I think you're right there.
The yet-to-be-discussed, really unique situational situation, to state the obvious, the situational situation is this one. We've mentioned Coleman Hawkins. Teammates with Amani Hansberry and Sincere Harris at Illinois. Played with him, practiced with him. So they know his game extremely well.
Coached by Chester Frazier.
Coached by Chester Frazier, Mountaineer assistant, is why Amani Hansberry and Sincere Harris are here at West Virginia. So you have a little uniqueness there. And, you know, we had a little bit of that when West Virginia played Oak State, and Javon Small, you know, not many guys left on that Oak State roster, but a couple. So that also will peak things up here. You think Sincere Harris might be, now I know it's not going to be the direct matchup. You think Sincere might want to stick his nose in there a little bit against Coleman Hawkins? Just kind of peck him a little bit.
Yeah, but Amani might get a little matchup on him.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
And vice versa.
So that'll be fun. That's a whole game inside of the game. Guys that have played against each other. I think that'll be interesting.
What's that place like, Tony? What K-State plays?
When it's filled, Bramlage Coliseum is extremely good.
Really?
Extremely good. I was looking at their attendance, and I'm wondering what it does this weekend, because they have lost 6 in a row. And there are a lot of similarities between West Virginia fans and K-State fans. And when things are hitting it here, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be capacity. It'll be, you know, those that'll be there will be loud. They do the Wabash. They do the Wabash thing, you know, when they those students back and forth and back and forth. So it'll be similar to, they're going to go there and they're going to say, okay, do something to make us cheer. If they don't, then the crowd won't be an impactful crowd. But if they start playing well, then the thing it'll get kicked up. Yeah.
What time's the game?
6 Eastern.
6 Eastern?
5 Central. Correct. Yeah.
You want to give me, I'll give you one more little thing to watch for Saturday.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be very specific here. The stat jumped out to me. West Virginia in its last 5 games is just 2 of 16 from corner threes. Just 13%, 2 of 16. But how about this number? Went 22 of 52 in the previous 5 games. So the percentage, 42%, almost 30% higher. But look at how many shots attempted there. That's gone from almost 10, almost 11 corner threes per game in the previous 5 games to just 3 per game.
Why that is?
That's a good question. I don't know. Got to find that out. But here's why that matters. If you look at Kansas State's defensive heat map, teams are shooting nearly 50% from the left corner 3, 20 of 41 on the season. So
that's a number.
Look for some corner threes here, Hop. Get back on track.
That'd be nice.
With that specific part.
So you're saying the number of corner threes taken is down?
Yeah.
Dramatically?
Yeah, dramatically.
Dramatically?
Yeah.
Is that because also teams, you know, they watch tape and they go, don't let them have the corner 3 because they make shots?
No,
there.
I just think that some of that's opponent adjusted, and you've been so middle ball screen heavy here as you got into Big 12 play. The numbers, 3 of those 5 games previously were against North Carolina Central, Bethune-Cookman, and Mercyhurst that basically you get whatever shot you want.
Right. Okay.
3 guys before.
All due respect, of course.
All due respect.
3 guys before the game is brought to us by the great folks at Lou Wendell Marine Sales, the state of West Virginia's premier marine dealer. I'm not even saying pontoons anymore. I mean, when it comes to boating, they're the dudes.
Anything related to...
because, besides boats, they got those Gator Tough John Series boats. They are the dudes, the G3s. So what do they give you? They give you durability. They give you dependability. They give you value. And if you're out there and you need something that you can love and something that you know will not pose any problems, you're in those G3 boats. Check them out at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. And obviously, if you're the pontooner, those Avalon pontoons, they be the deal.
Now, Tony, this, I don't know who would know this, but it's been very, very cold, unseasonably cold. But are the days getting longer?
They are.
Are they?
Yeah, we're making the hook, Hop. If you take a look at sunsets, it's starting. It's gradually coming up, and 8 weeks away. How about this? Mountaineer Baseball opens 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. They got a 4-game series down in Jacksonville, Florida. Coach Saban's and his squad. They've been shoveling off the field over there. They've been outside in this.
You can't go outside.
They
when
were
it's
outside,
6
man.
degrees.
They were outside.
Can you imagine getting hit by that hard ball when it's 6 degrees?
Last Wednesday, when we were in Houston, they were on the field here in Morgantown.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
No excuses, Coach Saban's.
No excuses.
He just goes out there. He just goes out there and gets it. Hey, shout out WVU women's basketball. Last night at Arizona State, they win at 89-59, an historic performance. The 900th career win for West Virginia women's basketball.
Somewhere Kitty Blakemore's smiling.
Sure. Coach Fisk. J.J. Quinterly, 29 points, 10 of 18 from the field, 3 out of 6 from 3, 6 for 6 from the foul line, 4 assists, had just a great game. And Blackston, your girl.
She was really good.
She was really good last night. I think that was a career high for her. She had 24, including 3 threes, 7 of 7 from the foul line.
All they do is just keep winning.
Yeah. Now they got a pretty good long road trip. They go Tempe to Tucson. They don't play again until Saturday night.
Okay.
So they're getting a little sun right now. They're getting a little sun. So congratulations to those guys, 89-59. That is your final score. Textual Healing is coming up momentarily, but wait, there's more.
When?
How about this one? From the great folks at Gomart. This is kind of different. Win and go with Gomart. Gomart's teaming up with the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. They'll bring you the best tickets and exclusive deals to events there forget the last-minute rush. All you have to do is open up your Gomart app. You fellas have those. Check out all the exciting events that are going to be going on in Charleston. They'll always change that lineup, so check it out. You want a chance to win tickets to those events, simply fill out the form on your app for each event. And your ticket fund, tap it away. Download the Gomart app. Stay in the loop. Kind of neat. Well, you're in the marketing business, right? There's a little convergence of sponsorships there.
Yeah, I like
Gomart with the Charleston. Don't forget, by the way, we still have how many days in this month? 8. Our beer, Connection 304, is the beer of the month at Gomart. It is produced by Parkersburg Brewing. It's other places all across the state, and it's continuing to get some really, really good thumbs ups. So if you haven't had Connection 304, check it out. Beer of the month at Gomart. Time for Textual Healing. This is your opportunity to join us. Your comments, your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, your obvious observations. Everyone has them. Brought to us by episode800.com, where right now we've got our Valentine's popcorn from Mountaineer Popcorn.
It's available now?
It is available to order right now, and you have to get your order in by Feb 3 to have it guaranteed for Valentine's Day. And plus, we said they're going to come back with that special Mountaineer Munch.
Oh, boy.
For a limited run on that as well. So if you love it, you're going to get it. I know that. If you haven't tried it yet, we give it the 3 guys guarantee. It is really, really good stuff.
Both of those flavors are excellent.
Yeah, they are.
From the text line, Chris from Bremberton. Where's that? Hoppy?
I don't know. I'll check.
Check it out. Maybe it's me being too online, but I definitely saw a good number of folks on Twitter during the game that don't want us to be ranked because the last couple of years after the week we're ranked. things don't go well, considering many of our fans piss and moan when West Virginia isn't getting any respect. It's a serious loser mentality to then turn around and not want to be ranked and get the respect that comes with it because they're scared we'll lose. Maybe just me, but we should always be chasing all the respect we can get, especially considering Coach DeVries and crew and what the things that they're doing all considered. Final thing, I still love the old MSM music that brings the radio broadcast back in from commercials.
Bremerton, if this is the same, Bremerton is a suburb of Seattle, Washington State.
Oh, we're huge there.
You go across the bay there. And
really big.
Bremerton.
Yep. Ciao, amici. -7 degrees Fahrenheit here in Touchdown City as I type this after the game. Brad, I love you, man. But do you now understand why Tony and the Hopster were downplaying the where should we be ranked talk? I was shaking my head at you when you were going through your rant, knowing that you were cursing us for a letdown. No hard feelings. I've been a Mountaineer fan too long to get my hopes up. Stay warm. Dino in Morgantown. Next one. Brad had to mention snow on the deck last episode, and thus it has appeared in Myrtle. Thanks for the 4.5 inches, Brad. Neither I nor my bottle of 1863 are going outside until Saturday. Mike in Myrtle.
I got a lot of power.
There's a picture
here.
right there.
I
Look.
got a lot of power.
Look, the old boy's got snow.
Snow in Myrtle Beach.
I say snow, and it appears all over the country.
Say sunshine.
I say West Virginia should be ranked, and they automatically are not ranked.
A lot of people are really a lot of people are really struggling here. Someone comes in. I have to take full responsibility, complete responsibility, for the loss against Arizona State. See, the fact of the matter is I am cursed.
Oh.
My last name is Kelly, and there is something called the Kelly Kiss of Death, #KKOD. The teams I cheer for usually falter in weird ways. I had a chance to go to the Iowa State game but could not make it, and look what happened. I wasn't there to curse us. Meanwhile, not only could West Virginia not buy a bucket against Iowa State, the lady that did the Kroger shopping cart shootout couldn't even make it in those gargantuan baskets.
It was off night for everybody.
The curse is so bad, when I woke up this morning, my friend texted me and said, had I known you were going to go to the game, I'd have bet the farm on Arizona State. Sorry, Mountaineer Nation. I'll do my best to be away from here on out.
It's funny how not we all, but many of us have superstitions about those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think basketball maybe even more so than football.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Texter says, this is not sports related.
What's yours?
I don't think I really have any.
Oh, you said I thought you said I do.
No, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Basketball. I come across a lot of people that say, like, if they're listening to the game and they're sitting in a certain chair and West Virginia does well, they won't move. Even if nature calls, they're just sitting there, legs are crossed, or all balled up by the end of the game because they think that they're impacting the game, which is fine.
Yeah. My wife thinks that. She won't. Like, we had the game on the other night, and we're listening to you guys, synced it up with the TV, listening to you guys. Got it synced up. Excellent. And
That's a game changer, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I did it last night with the Arizona State women's game.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Wasn't that hard?
Yeah.
Even I did it the first couple times.
Yeah, I got it straightened out. I got it worked out.
Yeah, that took it worked a couple times. But
Then I fast forwarded and saw we lost the game. No, but I mean, if West Virginia's winning, I'll yell up. I said, "West Virginia's winning." She said, "I can't come down."
Yeah,
I can't come down.
I love the craziness.
Yeah,
craziness is great. Texter says, not sports related, but I figure you three guys would appreciate this West Virginia connection. The writer of Frosty the Snowman song was from Kaiser. He also wrote Peter Cottontail and the Smokey Bear ads for the Forest Service. Didn't know that.
Let me find out who that was.
Texter says, I just finished listening to episode 609. This is Lynn Knapp from Fort Wayne, Indiana, by the way of Bridgeport, #Maple Lake. I believe Hoppy is correct. Games on ESPN don't get viewership like it would a major network. Just one game on ESPN or a network and a win, and you move up 3 to 4 spots. Love your podcast and that Mountaineer popcorn. Glad to hear the Crunch will be back. I also ordered some Barney's Bakery pepperoni rolls for Christmas. Being in Big Ten country, I love all the Mountaineers. There he is. Take a look. So there he is. There's his popcorn.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah, he bought a lot of it there. That's all. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Good to see that. And then there he is with family holding on to his pepperoni rolls. Don't know about the young lady with the is that Indiana? She wearing an Indiana shirt there? I guess they're in Indiana. I guess it'd be all right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Texter, it was great catching up with Hoppy at Gomart last week. We were both getting gas. Also,
That's right,
Got
yeah.
an obvious observation myself, if allowed. Darren DeVries is a good basketball coach. Can't wait for the baseball tailgates, Zach in Morgantown.
You're right, Zach.
Tony, I had to send you this one. I went to a Bills game last month. Megan and I enjoyed a couple of beef on Wicks, tailgating from Bar Bill, huge and delicious, and got a few let's go chants in the stadium rocking the West Virginia gear. Very similar fan bases. Even listened to some Five Guys and a corn dog on the way up. Hope to see you guys in another basketball game if our schedule lines up. So there they are. So the beef on Wick that she is holding right there, that is a classic buffalo sandwich. That is roast beef on a Kemmel roll, and then you get the juice. The juice is an absolute, and then you put horseradish on that, and it makes you want to change your name. It's so good. And then there they are outside of they were in the stadium there. You got the old school. He's wearing the old school Buffalo Bills logo there, just a big buffalo.
Guys, Jack Rollins who is one of the author, wrote the lyrics to Here Comes Peter Cottontail, Frosty the Snowman, Smokey the Bear, was born in Scottsdale, Pennsylvania, but he was raised in Kaiser.
Right in Kaiser or Burlington?
Kaiser is the information I have.
Okay.
And he's buried in Kaiser.
Oh, wow. That's neat. Thank you, sir, whoever that was. Yeah. Hey, three guys, 2 pictures here. Pick one is to jog Brad's memory. Tony remembered me. You didn't, Brad. Now, I wouldn't quite say that I'm a member of his posse, as Tony put it, but I've been a long-time listener. And, Tony, we got our picture made in Fort Myers watching the world champion Mountaineers under Hall of Fame coach Josh Eilert. So, I don't know where the picture is.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, that's Devin. Isn't that Devin from Goshen Road? Right, Brad?
I think.
Yeah.
What's Tony?
I like the T-shirt.
Yeah.
How about that gold jacket, Tony?
Well, that was the day I went in the NFL Hall of Fame. That was my induction day. Texter, now to the real reason of my text. Rate my plate. This is my go-to order at a Waffle House, and I might say it's a travesty not to have one in Morgantown. Closest one's an hour north in Pittsburgh. It makes it sad. But here's his plate. 2 eggs over medium. 2 pieces of toast, white, double order a hash brown, smothered means made with onions, 4 pieces of bacon, chocolate chip waffle.
And
always enjoy the show.
Really?
Love all you guys. Do for the community and state. That's a nice plate.
I take down 2 of those right
That's
now.
really, really nice.
Did you have have you had a bad food day?
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry now. That looks good.
It does look good. But that'd be good. Well, but all due respect to Waffle House, we have.
Well, Tudor's lines
Look
up.
at Tudor's.
I mean, Waffle House is Waffle House, but you want to talk about Tudor's? Are you kidding me? Line up, make you a biscuit any which way. And, while we're talking about that, let me tell you about what Tudor's got going. Got a little special going here, Hoppy.
Okay.
So, like, if someone were to ask me, okay, what's your favorite dessert? Let me tell you what my favorite dessert is. My favorite dessert is apple. Anything apple. Apple pie. And right now at Tudor's, apple turnover is on special. Check this one out. Flaky golden pastry filled with sweet apple goodness. The perfect treat. Stop by Tudor's today. Savor the taste. Not available at some of them, but you go in there and say, you got that apple turnover? It is a sweetie pie.
Nice.
So, they're branching out. They also got a heck of a deal going on potato soup.
Oh, really?
You talk about a time of the year for potato soup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Texter.
Sounds good, too.
Well, you're just hungry, too.
I'll go get that apple turnover.
How about a big plate of kale? Oh, boy. Let's get on that because I'm hungry.
This is Bob in Fairmont, living temporarily in the toenails of the foothills of Appalachia, Lancaster, Ohio for the past 48 years. Just finished watching your last episode. Wanted to know what in flinderation made Brad come up with the word flabbergasted when he could have used the word that I used, flinderation. That being said, I have to say Saturday's Iowa State game has to rank up there with the 75 football backyard brawl, the very first game I ever attended. And also, the triple OT coming out party for Pat and newly minted Hall of Famer Steve Slayton when I left with friends of mine in the fourth quarter and had to listen to it on the radio in the green lot.
Well, he admitted it.
Yeah.
Right?
I got to say that Darren DeVries is a breath of fresh air. I love hugs, but when he would talk to Tony and Jay after a game, no matter whether the Mountaineers won or not, he would always sounded like Eeyore after someone kicked his dog. I'm looking forward to episode 610. Let's go. Forgot to mention that I have rat piss in that coffee cup. So he's watching the game on his laptop computer, and must have Folgers in there.
Well,
Why would he go with
some game day grind?
Get you some Mountaineer Roasting game day grind. Just do this for me. Just buy it off the website, episode800.com. Try it, and then you tell me what you think. I guarantee it. You'll go like, ooh.
We saw Rusty at the game the other night. He came
did
down
you?
and said hello.
Oh, he came down and said hello.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Rusty. Good to see him.
It was nice he came down because that was a night where I had a late afternoon cup of coffee to stay awake for the 9 o'clock tip. I've had some game day grind late in the day.
You guys are going to have to start having about a 20-minute meet and greet prior to tip-off like rock groups do.
How about
Like
this?
you get to go behind the stage and meet the – so you guys are going to have to start doing that.
Well, we had a guy come up to us last game while on air. Like, I don't mind it when I'm not on the air.
But you don't like it.
Like, when I'm talking, like, I struggle enough to think of what I want to say to begin with. I don't need anyone to bat me on the back. And so the guy bats me on the back, got like a full-length, long winter coat on, has a toboggan on with the hood pulled over his head.
Yeah.
And he taps us on the back,
Was it
both of
Unabomber?
us.
No.
He looked, close, looked it a little bit. He gets in there, and he had good-looking eyes, but you could hardly see his face. And he gives us the handshake, animated handshake.
Like he clearly knew us, right? There was some familiarity there.
And so he takes off. And so
you're doing the play-by-play.
No,
No, not during the game. Pregame. We were talking
So
about.
it's pregame. Okay.
we get out. Well, we're still on the air. We're on the air.
Now
The words count.
Now we're on the air.
No, we're on the air. Yes, we're on the air. I just figure if someone did that to you, you'd be anyway. So
it would get ugly.
Yeah, so I say to him, I said, "Who the frick was that?" I goes, "I don't know, dude." So like about 8 minutes later, same dude comes walking back down. I go, "Okay, now this guy's either crazy or who is it? Stalker? What do we got going?" Takes off his hood, takes off his hat. Grant Wiley.
Really?
Yeah, it was Grant Wiley.
No kidding.
I said, "Dude, I didn't even know it was you."
As I've said to Grant, so now like the last 4 times I've seen him, he never looks the same. He never looks like he did when he played here.
Doesn't.
I've got no idea what he looks like. It was Grant. We had a great talk with him.
wow.
I was glad he
50
circled back, though. That was good that he
he's
came back.
50 pounds lighter than when he played. He
my
was
gosh.
235 when he played. He's about $1.90.
What's he doing now?
He's living in his hometown, PA, but also has some stuff going on with a farm in New York State near the Hudson Valley. But he came in because Vic Lombard is doing this is kind of interesting too. Vic Lombard is doing a documentary on Rich Rod's first stint as West Virginia's head coach and how it ended and everything, the whole tenure of it. But he was already been doing that before Rich got named as the head coach again. So now the movie, whenever it comes out, will be like completely different. So Grant was in town to do the interview for the doc. And he said he went over and saw Rich, and it was the first time in 20 years he had seen Rich.
Really?
And it was the first time he ever had a conversation with Rich that wasn't coach-player, which he said was kind of different.
That wasn't Rich going, what are you doing?
So, he loved it.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
Now,
on
Grant
fire.
Wiley, now he was a pretty good player.
He make plays.
He make plays.
He
So it's fun to
also-
see him. It's always great to see him.
He strongly always has said he could have been a Division I basketball player, and he said, I could play for this guy, for DeVries. And I said, yeah, you probably could, but I don't think you would be good enough. I always love busting him. He said, dude, I'm just telling you, I could have been a
He did always say
Division I Big East point guard.
But also, Wiley maybe also could have been on the track team, the swim team, the dive
He's
team.
probably a guy you don't bet against doing something.
Right. The golf team. I mean, he's a guy that probably could do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Did he make a play at Virginia Tech?
I introduced him to Ren. I said, this is the guy you see jumping over the pile. This is what I told Ren. I said, this is the guy you see that stopped Lee Suggs on that. Ren goes, yeah. I said, classic him, not following the play call, just did his own thing.
Thank goodness he
all right.
did.
But you know what? There are guys.
Guys make plays.
Not many, but there are guys that you say, and Steve Dunlap has told us that. Like, you just go, you do you.
Grant is a classic chameleon in the sense that he is so different than when he was here.
He was
Like his
intense.
vocabulary while he was here was grunt, right? And he'll be the first to admit, he goes like, I was just like a meathead. He'll say that. I was just like, See ball, get ball. And now, like, he's like this most eclectic guy like you ever meet. He's into all kinds of different stuff. So
That was fun.
good to see him. Texter, someone asked ChatGPT, do NCAA college basketball rankings like KenPom use the previous year's data in their current rankings?
I'll do it.
And the ChatGPT said, I got the answer.
I'm sorry.
Yes, ranking services like KenPom do use previous year's data in their current rankings. KenPom's system incorporates both current season performance and historical data, including metrics like returning players' past team performance and the efficiency trends from the previous years. For example, if a team has a strong returning roster, has been consistently effective, they can influence the early season ranking even before it's played many games current year. I don't know, since West Virginia's roster is so different. Texter, well, YouTube TV does not work, but Tony and Brad never fail us. We're cheering on the Mountaineers from Costa Rica, sending a little sunshine back to the mountains. Justin and Angie from Parsons. So there they are on the beach in Costa Rica.
That's a good shot.
That wouldn't be too bad to be there today, right?
Hey,
That's well done.
this got me thinking about ChatGPT. So I use that sometimes. So I just entered, what are the chances WV will beat Kansas State in basketball Saturday? And this is where ChatGPT is not ready yet. West Virginia versus Kansas State is always an interesting matchup. As for the chances, it's hard to give an exact percentage without knowing more factors like injuries, recent team performances, and where the game is played. That said, West Virginia's had a solid season under Coach Bob Huggins.
Yeah, I hadn't got the update yet, apparently. Probably hadn't got the update.
It's like the fax version of ChatGPT right there.
May have
Not
missed.
quite caught up.
May have missed there. Texter says, Javon Small, a pro. He gives very business-like answers to press questions. Would love to know or hear more about him. So accomplished. What was the sales pitch for West Virginia? So fortunate to have him. Faithful fan, loving this team. Tim in St. Albans. How did West Virginia get Javon Small is his question.
Wanted to win. Said he wanted to play in an NCAA tournament. Thought he could do it here.
There you go. Hey, three guys. Corey from Ripley, myself, my boss, and a mutual friend, all three of us got to attend the Iowa State game. This was my boss and I's first ever game that we ever attended. And what a first game for us. Be hard to top that one off of the memory for life. I keep hearing the topic about how simply remarkable it is for Darren and his staff to get this team of transfers to play like they are. My response is, after watching Saturday, would be to encourage everyone to go to a game and witness how he gets the crowd fired up, fist pumps, slapping the floor, animated, get-up waves to the crowd. He simply makes you, as a fan, want to run through a wall for him. I couldn't imagine how the players playing for him feel. With that being said, I love the way this team, Coach DeVries and coaching staff, are representing us for our state. Keep it up, fellas.
When I was talking to Wyatt Thompson today, and I was telling him about the Mountaineers, and he said, Brad, DeVries must be a pretty good coach. And I said, he runs good stuff. Watch him coming out of timeouts.
Now, why'd you tell him that?
Hey, don't tell him that.
Don't tell him that. Tell him, boy, they really struggle out of timeouts.
I think Jerome Tang knows.
Yeah, I think they know.
Yeah. Texter, hello, tough loss. At no point in time did it look like anyone on the floor quit before the final whistle, and that says a lot. Speaking of whistles, I just wish we would have known that the refs were going to be getting tape for their clinics this summer on what an inconsistent whistle looks like in a game. On to the next one.
Was it
Shannon in D.C.?
Was it inconsistent?
Yeah.
Same old, same old. Didn't cost him the game.
Make shots.
Make shots. It was there for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
After game text from Arizona State, love the show, love the senator, but he jinxed us with the rankings complaints. He knows better.
Boy,
he knows better.
The Senators take a lot of heat today
Yeah,
for the loss.
Supposed to come on a live program here and not talk. Just going to stare straight ahead. Won't say anything into the microphone. Won't analyze. Won't discuss. Won't talk. Just stare straight ahead.
I love this line. The best line of this whole thing is
talk.
Best line is he knows better. You know better. WVU performs best as an underdog. So for the sake of all Mountaineer fans, let the rankings take care of themselves. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. Brian in Patalascala. Hoppy?
I'll check it.
Oh, and Brad might need a 2 Reese Cup suspension.
West Virginia fans might be more suspicious than other fans.
Texter, like in football, I'm willing to bet you get more text after a loss, but I'm sure enough will be talked about in spreads on stats. This team will learn from it. They'll rebound. I personally think it's better to be out of the top 25 anyway. We seem to play better.
Pat Alaska is in Ohio, just northeast of Columbus.
Ohio, yeah.
He's just east of Columbus. Yeah.
Question for Brad, since he knows Iowa. Could the Senators shine some light on the rumors of Darren DeVries taking the Iowa job? I'm assuming and really hoping these are just rumors and that Wren is committed to keeping him here. Brad's thoughts?
Iowa doesn't have an opening. Fran McCaffrey's still coaching there.
I love, man. I just love rumors. I mean,
I hate them.
I giggle.
I hate it.
I know you do because you put credence into that. Like as soon as the UMass job was open, I tell you what, Neil's going to be going to UMass. Neil played there. Come stop.
Neil was not going to UMass.
Do you ever just take a deep breath and try to put some rational thought into it?
Well, I'm not going to do that anymore in semi-retirement because that stuff drove me absolutely crazy.
Chasing your tail.
Now, if I'm the University of Iowa and I happen to have a basketball job opening, if Darren DeVries isn't at the top of your list, I don't know what you're doing.
Texter.
But right now, Fran's coaching. Hope he has a long and prosperous career there at the University of Iowa.
Yeah. How many times has the Mountaineer basketball team introduction carpet been replaced? And how long have they had a carpet for introductions? My dad and I went to the game honoring Jerry West. My dad mentioned they at least had the carpet since Jerry played. Although we now have loud music, light shows, highlight videos, half the court full of dancers, and fire explosions, we still roll out the carpet as we've done for generations. We were just curious. Brad?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have a concrete answer.
I'll find out.
I don't remember it being replaced more than once here in the last.
Yeah, Gail Catlett brought it back.
Yes,
which was a great addition. You're right. They did use it during Jerry West, and then Gail Catlett brought it back, and so it's been used since 78, 79, right? Which is a ton of time now.
Continuously, but before that, it was there.
So
I don't know on the.
I'll ask. What will we go? We go April on that one.
We'll find out.
April Messerly?
April Messerly?
No, we'll find out.
In charge of facilities? She might know that. I'd be stunned if it's the same rug. Right?
I don't know.
Tell you what.
I don't remember ordering one of those, but we might have.
If it's the same rug that Jerry ran on.
No, it's not that. It's not that, but it hasn't been replaced very often, I don't think.
All right, we'll get on that.
That.
Ask ChatGPT that, Hop.
Well, they still think Huggins is the coach, so I'm not going to ask him that.
Hey, guys, if Hoppy goes to see the basketball team and he takes Ren Baker's seat on press row like Tony suggested, then you would have to change the name to Three Guys at the Game. Love the show, Kevin and Princeton. That would be true.
Yeah.
I think Ren would give you a seat for a little bit. He's always getting up and leaving. Might as well just use the seat, right? He's always getting up, going down, getting up, coming back.
I think he's got places to be, people to see.
Yeah. Texter, hello. I've been curious about Rich's staff. I feel like every day I see a new coach, analyst, GM, assistant to the regional manager hired. My memory says we didn't have this many under Neil. Is that true, or are we just making more announcements for positions that were more behind the curtains under Neil? I ask because it makes me wonder if we have the money to pay these people as well as the players. If we had all these positions before, then I'm less worried. Can't wait to attend the Brawl. September, my 40th birthday, hopefully with a large contingent, and I'm going to hit the food court. As always, sorry for being long-winded. Heath from Baltimore, the Three Guys wine guy.
I emailed Fergale.
Michael Fergale.
See if he knew.
I
know it was under, I'm like you. It was under Catlett that it was brought back.
So is there a ginormous addition of staff compared to Neil and Rich? I say no. But they're publicizing it more. Like today, as we record, they're putting all the transfers in, so they're doing it more. So no, it'll be similar. It'll be similar in size, and
But staff size has increased. Overall staff size, I would say, has increased. Tenfold in the last.
Since Donnie Nealon was the coach, since Donnie Nealon, it's 10x'd, no question.
Yeah.
And now for the first time, you are going to have anyone can go onto the field and coach. 10 guys can go recruit, but anyone can go on the field and
Oh,
coach.
really?
Oh, yeah. You'll have 20-plus guys out there coaching.
Wow.
Last text. Hey, guys, big fan. Recently saw a highly regarded NBA show list the 12 best handles or dribblers in the league's history. I felt a connection to 3 of them. Of course, 2 have a connection to West Virginia. Pete Maravich, Jason Williams. I agree with those 2 and definitely had a shot to land both of them. How do you guys feel about how much they would add to our already incredible yet limited Mount Rushmore of basketball legends that have statues? Hypothetically, homeopathically,
hypothermally, hydroponically.
That ranks up there with facade and fakeade.
Yeah.
If Pete Maravich had the same career at West Virginia that he did at LSU, and Jason Williams played 2 to 3 very productive seasons here, would they also deserve statues? I think so, and can imagine the 4 of them around the Coliseum entrances. Pete for sure.
Too much hypothetical. I can't.
Yeah, me too. Makes my head hurt.
West and Hunley standalone. You gotta
There's
be
a lot.
careful.
There's a lot of good Jason Williams clips out there, like via Facebook on Reels.
Yeah.
I get sucked down that rabbit hole. You know, you do those bandits, those sea pirates or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the Somali pirates.
Somali pirates out there
When they go
hijacking
out,
boats.
those Somali pirates think they're going to do a little something. My boys get up on that boat with those machine guns and just say, "Oh, is that right? Come on, you come a little bit closer."
So he watches that. I was down the rabbit hole of Jason Williams highlights.
Oh, really?
He was unbelievable. He talked about a handle.
He was unbelievable.
It was remarkable.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
Yeah, remarkable.
All right, so it's Thursday, so we play Saturday. So we'll do this thing Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. You available, Hoppy?
I'm available.
I didn't know if you're. Aren't you? I mean, I tell you what, you're here more now than when you were. You agree with that, Senator?
It's taken me 3 weeks to clean out my office.
Jeez.
Still got stuff in there.
Let's
Got a couple bowl watches I got to deal with.
Blue Bonnet Bowl windbreaker. 3 guys before the game brought to us by.
Suit bag from the Orange Bowl.
I got to show you this bag out in the hallway.
do you got?
It'll make you laugh. Someone brought us a West Virginia bag,
Duffel bag.
duffel bag that looked like Doc Blanchard from like Field of Dreams had. It's
Sweet.
crazy. I'll bring it out next show
Okay.
if it hasn't been stolen. 3 guys brought to us by Comac's Business System, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years and now hydrated.
Mike Vergale says it was confirming it was Coach Catlett brought it back when he returned his first year.
Well, we know that, but the question was, that's not the question. Has it been replaced since then?
Stay tuned because coming up Monday.
3 guys brought to us by Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Go to gomart.com for details. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. It's Tudor's Biscuits. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, let's see what happens. West Virginia K-State Saturday night. WVU Women's Saturday against Arizona. We'll be back to recap on Monday. Thanks to producer Jake. We're out. Hoppy's got to go take a nap.
Probably, yeah.
I think I'll do the same. We'll see you.